Starting from the design aspect of the show, we started at the read-through. Everything was about set for design. However, that's never quite the case. After that, we had to make sure that we could get it built. The guitars themselves were actually created in the shop, but they were done both from photos of the real item, and Dakota actually lucked out. He actually found scaled drawings of the actual guitars that we blew up on the plotter, and he was able to cut them to the exact shape that the real guitars were cut from. And that helped tremendously, because anytime you have something on a theatrical stage, it's usually the shape that sells it, the shape and the color. As I started the design, there was a shape, a rectangular shape that had rounded corners that we liked a lot. And we put that in, but it looked very empty. So we added a ground row, which again helped the lighting designer, but it also helped add some depth to the set, but it filled out so it didn't look so empty. So it was very graphic. A lot of straight lines, squares, rectangles, and because it was in those shades of gray, it actually had quite a bit of depth to it. Hang went so much better this year because of several things. We got new dimmers a couple years ago, so that made it easier, and the new light board, which is now very easily remote controlled by an iPad. As far as I hear, all the lighting design students showed up, and it went very well. We got new umbilical cords last summer, and I hear that it shaved a huge amount of time off of light hang because you didn't have to run cable everywhere. It was where it needed to be.
Time to drop some cables, some brakes. Take everybody with you. I'll be down here.
And then we're going to slide them down. 1, 2, 3.
It always makes things go quicker when you have people knowing what the process is. In the past, the lighting hangs, although they still went well, they took a lot longer to finish because after the lights were hung, in order to get them circuited, there was a lot of extending of cords and extension cords. And now the umbilicals, the new ones, are nice and long, and they come down, connect to the pipe, and just go right out to the fixtures. It comes all the way from the grid, and the grid is, I think, 68, 70 feet off the floor. There was a great deal of welding for this show. We started with the welding in early February, and the staircase got actually put on stage at the beginning of March. I know Del calculated how many cuts and welds, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of welds that went into the staircase. But overall, I think it came together very well. It's what we talked about, so that's a win. One of the things that I was kind of concerned with early on is there were two mechanical effects, both when the stairs moved and up on top of the tower, the flats that were behind the throne flipped around in front, and I wasn't sure how easy or difficult those were going to be to get to move. Luckily, as far as moving the stairs, I did invest in some very expensive casters, and it really paid off. Even though the stairs, being steel, were extremely heavy, it really didn't take a whole lot to move them. They were very easily moved. I was very impressed after the actors got on it because they didn't really have it for a long time to practice on it. The director didn't block up on the staircase a lot, but it did work really well like it was supposed to, and I'm always impressed how quickly actors can adapt to new situations, and they did.